Year 6, we know you have struggled a little bit today with percentages, and that's okay. So we thought we'd do you a little video to help you with some of the methods we've done today. If you do follow along with me and you find that you can only do 10% of a number or 20% of a number, that's okay, just stop there. If you can find the 5% and the 1%, then I'll show you how to do them, okay? But the main thing is, don't worry, okay? We will come back to this in summer if we need to, but just do what you can. So if we're finding 10% of 450, we need to find divide by 10, okay? Which you should all know how to do. If you're struggling with your dividing by tens, which we've done today in class, then you can use your place value and physically write your numbers in. Okay, so we've got 450, moving it one place to the right. So the 4 comes here, the 5, put in your decimal points, and so the answer is 45. Okay, so easy peasy for 10% using our place value. If I wanted to find then 30% of a number, I have to find 10% first. So I take my 700 and I divide it by 10, like we've been doing to find 10%. So 700 divided by 10 equals 70. You might want to write in brackets on the side what that value actually means. Then to find 30%, I take my 70 and I times it by 3. Okay, so I use my numbers of 3 times 7 is 21, make it 10 times bigger, and my answer is 210. So therefore, that is 30% of a number. Okay, so if you're greens or yellows, that should be sort of part of your learning. If you think you can move on to the next bit, you might be finding 1% of a number. So to do that, you need to divide by 100 this time. So again, if you can't remember how to do 100, use your place value, put in 400, and this time you move 2 places to the right. So the 4, 1, 2 becomes in your ones, and then you've got your other numbers. So 1% of 400 equals 4. If you have a number sort of like 450, again, you need to divide it by 100. But if I put in my place value, you'll notice, okay, if you move it 2 places, you'll have a decimal number, 4.5. And you might find some of the numbers today were in decimals. So 1% was 4.5. If you're finding 5%, okay, again, you go back to finding 10%. So you do 800 divided by 10 equals 80. You then take the 80 because this is worth 10%. Now, a lot of people get confused with 50% and 5%, okay? You get your 10% and all you need to do is divide it by 2 because half of 10 equals 5, okay? So I need to find half of this number. So 80 divided by 2 equals 40. Therefore, 5% of 800 is my 40, okay? So if you're greens and yellows, I'd stop there, just finding 1%, 5% and 10% of a number. If you're blue, red and oranges, you had numbers sort of like this today where you had to find 21%, so it's more steps. So first of all, find your 10%, okay? So you're dividing it by 10 equals 80. You then need to find 20%, so if I put in my brackets, that's 10%. So I'm going to get my 80 and I'm going to times it by 2, which equals 160. And that is my 20%. I now need to find what 1% is, because I've already got 20%, but I need to know what 1% is. So I'll go back to my original number of 800, and I divide it by 100, okay, which leaves me with 8, and that is 1% of 800. But I need to find out what 21% is. Well, I found out what 20% is I've found out what 1% is, so I just need to add in these numbers here, okay? So 160, add 8, equals 168, okay? And that is 21% of 800. It gets a little bit more tricky if you're finding some bigger numbers such as 37%, because there's lots of different steps here. So, first of all, find your 10%. So 600 divided by 10 equals 60, that's my 10%. I need to know what 30% is, so I take my answer of 60 and I times it by 3. So I count in my 6's, well 6, 12, 18, make it 10 times bigger, it's 180, and that is 30%. I now need to think, right, I've got to find 7% now, so I can use what I know of finding a percentage. So 600 divided by 100 equals 6, and that gives me 1%. Well, I need to know what 7% is. So I take my 6 and I multiply it by 7, and my answer of 42 is 7%. I then have a look at my number. Well, it's 30 and 7%. Well, 30% is 180, 7% is 42, so therefore I need to do 180, add 42. If you can't do that in your head, then all you need to do is do your column addition. 2 add 0 is 2, 8 and 4 is 12, 1, add your 1 at the bottom is your 2. So therefore, 37% of 600 equals 222. Okay? There are lots of different methods that you can do, because you could have found 5% and then another 2%. So do whichever you feel is best for you. But the main thing that you need to work out is these numbers, like 60% or 30%, okay, or 35%. Oranges, you should be stretching yourself to these numbers, but everybody else, don't worry if you don't get there, okay? If you need any more help, let us know, okay? Just email your teacher and we can help you there. But the main thing is, don't worry, okay? We hope you find it a little bit useful having it like this.